beach flooding's gonna be the least of our problems.
We are here to talk about Zombie Tidal Wave. This one directed by Anthony C. Ferrate, who of course did Sharknado for the Sci-Fi Channel, and here he is returning with star Ian Ziering, who you may know from the Sharknado movies, also things like Beverly Hills 90210, with Zombie Tidal Wave. This is one of those movies which does what it says on the tin. So it's a low budget, made for TV, horror slash kind of tongue-in-cheek B-movie, and we have Ian Ziering as Hunter Shaw. They've always got these badass names, haven't they? And he is a kind of captain of a small boat, and he discovers that there's a crack in the ocean floor, and there appears to be some type of luminous zombies that are appearing, and they are kind of like floating up to the surface from kind of this sunken ship, which is down there for reasons that you'll know through the movie. And of course there happens to be a tsunami at the kind of the same time, and of course all these zombies are now washed up on shore, attacking everyone, obviously, and causing more zombies. And it's again this small group of kind of like local kind of townsfolk having to kind of band together to try and, you know, defeat this kind of zombie menace. So let's talk Zombie Tidal Wave. So the actual tidal wave part of this movie is actually relatively minor, I have to say. It doesn't actually have that much to do with it, to be honest with you. It's really just a delivery device for the zombies. It doesn't really have too much of an impact on the story outside of them being somewhat cut off because of it. But nonetheless, it is there. And I do think it's quite a fun idea, and we have seen kind of seafaring zombies before, obviously in things like zombie flesh eaters, obviously the infamous kind of shark versus zombie fights. They have been precedents for this before, and in actual fact this movie does actually pay homage to Fulci by having this kind of this group called the Fulcis, which I don't know if anyone caught, but I thought that was quite a nice little nod. There are kind of a few kind of nods to the kind of the Italian style kind of zombie movies all throughout this movie. This being kind of set on some type of coastal area, it does remind you of those kind of like the era of the kind of the zombie movies that used to come out. But obviously this bit was a lot more kind of like B-movie schlock and kind of not taken as seriously as those kind of like Italian zombie flicks of the past. But it certainly does have some reverence for the material at least. And the movie is quite fun, and I've got to say the conceit of having this tidal wave filled with zombies. Admittedly, you know, the zombies can swim apparently, but there you go. It is quite a fun device, and actually this movie is played a little bit more straighter than the kind of the Sharknado movies. It's not quite as zany. I mean, it still is kind of obviously very, very OTT, but it's played a little bit more straight than the kind of Sharknado's movie. So you can kind of watch it really as a coastal kind of zombie attack movie, which ultimately is what it is at the end of the day. I did like some of the zombie makeup effects. We'll come on to it again. There are a couple of instances where they've had zombies that are underground that have kind of like barnacles and stuff kind of on them, which does look pretty cool in some aspects. And you know, there's kind of quite a lot of characters here. And I was surprised how gory this movie was. It's not going to gore every kind of, you know, few minutes, but there are some relatively kind of gory scenes here. For a TV movie, I was fairly, you know, surprised about the levels of kind of like blood and kind of like chunks of flesh kind of being pulled off. That this makes this quite surprising. And there is actually quite a fun scene involving quite a cool weapon that Ian Ziering's character makes to kind of defend himself with the zombies, which is, I think, it's quite a fun scene actually, and it's you know, adds a little bit more kind of to the actual zombie mythos. If it doesn't work, okay, so this is very kind of just throwaway kind of cheesy fun. There's not really an ounce of kind of tension in this movie. It's played for kind of tongue-in-cheek rather than kind of any type of drama that you might have had in certain kind of zombie, you know, movies and kind of TV shows. So you're kind of missing that kind of that dangerous edge, and it's all very kind of cheap. When we actually do see some of the, certainly the kind of the tidal wave effects, it does look incredibly cheap. And I've got to say, I think it was a little bit of a missed opportunity with some of the zombies, although there are a couple which do have kind of like, as I said, kind of like a little bit of barnacles on their face. Some of the kind of like the historic zombies, i.e. the ones that have been underwater for a long time, they could have been a lot more done with them, I have to say. The kind of the more recent zombies, victims of the kind of the the undersea zombies, I can get, yeah, they're going to look a bit more fresh. But these zombies who've been under the sea for years, they should look decrepit and covered in stuff, half-eaten and stuff like that. I don't know if it was because of a rating thing, because this one movie was made for TV, but like I said, there is a reasonable amount of gore in this, so. But I don't know, for whatever reason, I think it was a little bit of a missed opportunity. It had some really kind of like quite gross looking zombies that are kind of bloated and half eaten by kind of sea life and stuff like that. And yeah, it does go, even though it's not as silly as the Sharknado movies, it certainly is far sillier than the kind of the majority of sort of zombie movies you may see here. You know, the amount of zombies that are apparently coming from this ship is just crazy. Like I said, zombies kind of swim. They're kind of, you know, the state of decay is a lot kind of like better than that, you know, or not as good as it should be, depending on how you look at it. And yeah, there's kind of the acting here is a little bit kind of cheesy from certain sort of characters as well. Overall, it's a little bit of fun. I don't think it will have quite as a cult status as the kind of the Sharknado movies. I don't really think it's going to be particularly memorable as a zombie film, but it's okay. It's an okay kind of time waster with a kind of quite a neat conceit and a few kind of memorable scenes here and there. So I'll give this one a 5 out of 10. Have you seen it? What did you think of it? Leave me a comment and I'll look forward to seeing you next time. Bye for now.